I'm talking about we just gonna keep getting better and better and better. I'm claiming it. All right, so tonight's call is all about taking the first steps of awareness as an entrepreneur. And so for the last few calls, we have been going over the universal laws. And so universal laws is like, it's just the laws of the universe. It doesn't matter if you believe in them or not, they all affect you. And so one of the laws that we all usually believe in is the law of karma. But see, you don't have to be afraid of the law of karma if you're just handling your business to make sure you are mastering yourself. There are so many different laws, but all of these laws, we can use these laws for our benefit. So they don't want to teach us these laws because they don't want us to know our power. They don't want us to know that we are connected to the universe. We are connected to it all. And so it's all energy. They want to hide our power from us. And they did good with hiding it, because, you know, it's a beautiful journey of being able to discover this. That's what makes it so beautiful. You know, when stuff just handed to you, you don't appreciate it. But when you have to get it out the mud, when you have to go through something, when you have to grow through something, whoo, it's a whole nother level of appreciation. And so I'm excited to be on this call. I'm excited to be a part of this family. I'm excited to be a part of this community. I'm excited to be on this call with our tribe, with our people. All right, so this call is full of like-minded individuals. If you need any of the other previous calls, just let us know and we will email them to you. And so tonight, since we're talking about the first step of awareness, see, awareness is going into knowing the difference between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And so who on the call can break down the subconscious and the conscious mind? Who know the power of the subconscious mind or the conscious mind, or know how it works in any shape, any fashion, any form? Who got the jewels?
All right, so I will say this, right? I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I do know that your conscious mind is when you are aware of what's going on, and your subconscious mind is where you're not so much aware, but you also do things that may be repetitiously done, but you're not aware. So it's like you're doing something subconsciously, but you're not aware of what you're doing subconsciously. So I think
that was the
perfect
a
little something. I know a little something.
That was perfect. But how many of you know? So now we know that the conscious mind is what we are aware of, but the subconscious mind is what we're not aware of. But how many of you know that we are only, majority of people, not us, because, you know, we are already on another level, but majority of people are only using their conscious mind 5% of the day. 5%. But the conscious mind is the power. That's the God mind. That's the creative mind. Because anything that got anything to do with creativity, that's God's energy. Because we got the power to create, right? And so they take us out of our creative energy, and they want us in work and fear and worry and all of that. Because when we're not in our conscious mind, our creative mind, we're disintegrating. We're not growing. But we're 95% of the time we are being controlled by our subconscious mind. 95% of the time we are being controlled by things that have happened to us 20 years ago, 30 years ago, since birth, things that we're not aware of knowing. And that's why our life is being the way it is. And so you can say all day, I want me a good man. I deserve a good man. I want me a good man. But if subconsciously in the back of your mind, you saying, you can't trust these. I don't trust nobody. You know, I can't, don't nobody show up for me. So you're being controlled by that subconscious mind. And so once you become aware of it, you say, oh, you know what? That let me redo this, because this is not what I want to keep attracting. And so you can always reprogram your subconscious mind. But see, the thing with the subconscious mind, that little joker is tricky. Even though it is rolling 95% of the time, do you know that joker do not know the difference between what is real and what is fake? Anything that you are telling your subconscious mind, anything that you are watching, anything that you are listening to, anything that you are reading, it is programming your subconscious mind. See, you think your thoughts are your thoughts, but they're not, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm just realizing we don't even think thoughts. We receive thoughts, and therefore you cannot even receive a thought unless you are on the same frequency of being able to receive it. And so somebody could want to give you all the love in the world. They could want you to be rich as fuck. They could want you to know who you are and believe in yourself. But if you're not on that frequency, everything they say to you, everything they throwing at you, you're going to take it in a way of feeling like they're trying to disempower you and they're trying to trick you, because you have already been tricked by whoever it was that have programmed your subconscious mind. And so you want to reprogram your subconscious mind. You reprogram it with the power of repetition. What you are watching repeatedly, what you are listening to repeatedly. You can't do something one time and expect everything just to go ahead and rewire. No, if you have been thinking in that toxic, crazy way for 30, 40, 50 years, it's going to take more than one time to reprogram that. And of course, it's not going to take 30 years to reprogram it, but it's definitely going to take more than one time. Like, for example, let's say your man, when you first meet him, he bring you flowers and you love it. 5 years later, the nigga never brought you another goddamn bouquet of flowers. But then when you bring it up, he say, I brought you flowers before. Are you going to be okay with that one time? No. You're going to be like, nigga, you showed up one time. There's no repetition. You're not showing up as the person you presented yourself to be. And so the subconscious mind is doing the same thing. It's saying, you know what? You saying you want to be rich. You saying you want to be happy. You saying you want to be vibrating high. But you ain't about it, because you only said it one time. You said it once a month when you see somebody on Facebook and this and that, and then that's it. You can't do it one time and expect to just to come through and just be like, oh, you want a whole nother vibration? It don't work like that. And so it's what you are doing repeatedly. And so you can always tell what is controlling a person, mind, by their life, by the things that is happening around them. If you're around somebody and every time you talk to them, life is kicking their ass, it's because in their mind, they are kicking their own ass. They're overthinking things that is kicking their ass every single day. And so instead of them, we all go through that because we're human, right? And so we all got some things that we got to reprogram or overcome. And of course, you can't reprogram it all overnight or instantly, but inch by inch. The thing is to do the little things. It's a book called The Slight Edge. I advise everybody to read it. The Slight Edge tell you that it's the little things that count. You think you have to reprogram everything and change everything around overnight, when baby, you don't. Only thing you got to do is change one habit, one little piece a day. So if you saying, hey, you know what? I want to program myself to wake up at 4:30, but you're used to waking up at 9 a.m. If you try to wake up at 4:30, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And so the best way to reprogram yourself with getting up to 4:30 a.m. is work your way up. And so if you used to getting up at 9:30, try getting up 15 minutes earlier. Try getting up 20 minutes early where it's not really affecting you, where it's not throwing you off your game. And then you'll be like, okay, then once you have a month of that flow, then you do 20 more minutes the month after that. But it's little by little. And so the Slight Edge tell you, if you eat, you know how they say eat an apple a day will take the pain away or something like that. But if you only eat one apple one time, you're not going to see any results. But if you eating that apple every single day, eventually you're going to see results. When I first had the twins, oh my God, I was driving myself crazy because I'm like, I just need to lose this weight. Oh my God, I'm so heavy. And so I would go to the gym, but I'm telling you, I'm going to be real, child. After a day in that gym, I was like, I don't see no results. A week in the gym, I'm like, I don't know what. And I'm telling you, it was just like, and I know the power of repetition and all of that, but my mind was playing tricks on me because I was stuck in, the weight. But it wasn't until I got to this place of saying, you know what, forget the weight. I just need to be healthy. But I kept showing up. And the next thing you know, the weight just started leaving. It's because I wasn't stuck on the weight. I just was stuck on, you know what, I'm just going to keep showing up. And now I'm telling y'all, I'm even smaller now than I was before I had the twins. not to say this trying to make you go get smaller, none of that, but all I'm saying is repetition is the key. Repetition is your best friend. And so the problem is the only thing you are showing repetition in, the only thing that you are repeating is negative thoughts. And that's why negative things keep happening to you. If you just keep thinking about how broke you are, if you keep thinking about, man, I'm so tired of this, I'm tired of being broke, oh my God, I'm so tired of my life looking like this, and that's the only thing that you're thinking about all day, all night, that's all that's going to keep showing up in your reality. That's all that's going to keep showing up in your existence until you decide to do something different. It's not that you never think another negative thought, but when you find yourself thinking that negative thought, you have the power to say, you know what, I don't got time for this right now. Let me go do something that's going to sidetrack this energy. And because you already know what entertains you is what trains you. And so if you are only entertained by mess, you are going to keep manifesting more of that type of energy into your life. And so the subconscious mind is your creative mind. That's your God mind. That's your power. But you got to keep in mind, the subconscious mind, usually most people are only using it 5% of the day. But if you can train yourself to be more conscious of your thoughts, like just whenever you realize that, hey, I'm unconscious or whatever, or I'm thinking about this, or I'm thinking about that, and you call your energy back and say, okay, you know what is going on? What am I thinking about in this moment? Who am I talking to? Is this really helping me? The more you ask those questions, the better you're going to get at it. And so the first day you meditate, it's probably going to aggravate you. If you're not used to still in your mind, it will drive you crazy because you haven't done it enough. But the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And so a lot of times when you around, when you have been programmed so much negativity, and you go be around somebody with high energy and they feel good about themselves and they feel confident, it drives you crazy. It annoys you because you be like, oh, there's something about her. What's about her is she vibrating on a frequency that you don't know nothing about. She vibrating on a frequency that is foreign to you. And so therefore it aggravates you a little bit because you're like, I don't know about that. I ain't used to that. She must be fake. Nope. She just loves herself, and it's uncomfortable for you because you having a problem loving yourself. And so it's all about repetition, who you hang around, who you talking to, what you're watching on TV, the books you're reading. So many people say, I want to be successful, but they say, oh, I hate to read. Here's a lot of stuff I hated doing too, like washing the dishes and stuff, but I had to do what I had to do, you know? And so you get to choose. It's either you're going to keep saying, oh, I hate to read, but then you on Facebook reading every comment in the section, as long as it's got something to do with drama, that's the only thing that's entertaining you. So therefore, that's the only thing that's training you. And so if you want to change what is going on in your reality, if you want to change how these men are showing up in your life, how these women are showing up in your life, you change what's going on within you. You change the type of people you're around. If you are one of those men and you feel like, oh, all these women are just trash, ain't none of them good, you hanging around the wrong brothers. You drinking with the wrong brothers. You're not around your team. You're not around your tribe. You're not around the people that's going to bring the best out of you, because what entertains you is what trains you. You can always tell who somebody is by the people they hanging around or how long they hanging around them. Welcome to the call, Josh. Welcome to the call, Mike. I was going to say Angelus, but I'm going to call you Mike. And Will. Hey, Will.
Hi.
All right. There is so many ways to reprogram our subconscious mind. Reprogramming your subconscious mind is all about being intentional. It's just whatever you are doing intentionally. And so some of the ways to reprogram your subconscious mind is visualization. You can literally just sit down and just think about one thing, and it'll help calm your energy and help get your mind in another space. One is subliminals. Frequencies, changing the stuff that you're listening to, being more intentional with the music, being more intentional with how you move. I love me some good trap music. I really, really do. But I limit my trap music because I don't want to be just, like, I don't want that to train me. The only way but there is times when my trap music is what I need to help motivate me. If I'm too down, I'm going to go, hey, I'm going to go, every day I'm hustling, whatever it takes to help me get into that mode. And so you got to know what it is that gets you going. You got to know how it makes you feel. And so the feeling is good for you, because what motivates Sabrina may not motivate you. Another way is tapping. So there's techniques that you can do with tapping, and you're telling yourself, like, you know, like, oh, I'm confident. I'm confident. I love myself. I love myself. I love my life. I love my life. I love how I'm showing up. I love how I'm showing up. And so tapping, you can look that up. It's a beautiful way to help reprogram your subconscious mind. They got trauma exercises when you shake it off. You ever seen like a deer get hit or something, and then he get up, he just shake it off. He shake it off. You got to shake that energy. Energy gets stuck in our joints. That's why a lot of people do yoga. But if you're just doing the yoga and you're not being intentional with moving that energy, it still could be trapped, because you got to be intentional about everything that you're doing. And that's really how you program your subconscious mind, by being conscious, by being intentional. And so another way is journaling. Journaling, not in a space of, oh, let me tell you how terrible my life was today. No, write it in a way that is empowering to you. Write it as if it's already happened the way you want it to happen. Reading good stuff. And so a book, I wrote down 3 books that's really good that helped me with my subconscious mind. Psycho Cybernetics. It is so powerful because it shows you the power of the mind. Think and Grow Rich, but my favorite one, my husband introduced it to me about 5 years ago, is The Black Choice, because it's the same book technically, but it's giving Black examples. And you know, I'm all for the culture, so that's what made me feel motivated. I felt more tapped in with those stories because I resonated with them more. And then another one is the Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. That book is, I love it. I love anything with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And so even the stuff you're watching on YouTube, that's programming your subconscious mind. And your surroundings. Do not forget your surroundings. The people you are talking to, the people you are around, is programming your subconscious mind. In your mind, you may say, oh, that's her. But it's not just her. She giving you her energy. It's an energy exchange. And so that energy is coming into you. Not that you don't talk to them people, but you be mindful. And if they having too negative a conversation, what we teach them, Taisha, we teach them to go shake it off, right? We go shake it off. We go shake it off, right? Like because Taisha is she big on being in the community and saving everybody and helping everybody. Like when I tell you, she is the community counselor. And she'd be like, yeah, I had to help this sister. I had to help this sister. I said, okay, but don't forget to shake it off. Don't forget to shake it off. She'd be like, you right, you right, you right. And so that's literally how we just hold each other accountable. But anyway, so tonight I am going to go ahead and give the call to Martin Glenn. One more thing. I always got to say this. Make sure no matter what you are doing, it is giving you a good ROI, a good return on your investment. Make sure that whatever it is that you're watching, whatever it is that you're listening to, whatever it is that you allow to entertain you, you better make sure it is on the frequency of the lifestyle that you desire. Make sure that it is giving you a good return on your investment, because if you are not creating, you are disintegrating. And so tonight I'm going to go ahead and give it to the man with the plan. He's an educator, he's a business and a life coach, he's a fund manager, he's a land and a community developer. He's just everything. Well, he's everything to me, like I always say. Martin Glenn.
Thank you. Such a great introduction. Hey, I feel so good. I see a lot of people on here. See a lot of new people. So I'm so happy that you chose to be here, because as they say, you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And so, you know, I want to give you some value. For anybody that has not been on these calls, this is Masternomics. Masternomics is a combination of the word mastery and economics. The suffix nomics means laws of. So we're talking about the laws of mastery. We talk a lot from a financial perspective, but we also deal with a spiritual, a metaphysical perspective, because we're people first. Before finances, we're people, right? So Masternomics is what the company is designed to help you personally and professionally. So, you know, we talk about things that help you shift in life. So what I do on a daily basis is I help people start businesses. I help people that are in business. I help people figure it out, right? Because what most entrepreneurs need is support. You know, if you ask most people what they need, they're going to say money. But what you'll find is money is not really our problem. It's what we do with our money, and it's the money management, right? So Masternomics was designed for self-mastery and personal development, something to help you develop, right? So on our path of life and learning, we have to constantly be developing. We always are developing. You're not who you was yesterday because you learned something new, hopefully, because you should always be learning something new. And definitely by the time you finish this call, hopefully you'll definitely learn something new. Whenever you encounter someone, whenever you give them your time, somebody's either losing and somebody's gaining, okay? So you want to be gaining something. There's always going to be an energy exchange, right? So you want to make sure, be careful of where you spend your time and who you give your time to. But that's going to lead us into what we're talking about, and you're grasping.
I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
You said whenever you give someone your time, somebody's losing and somebody's gaining. I never heard it in that way. And so there's no way that you can have a conversation with somebody or have an energy exchange with somebody and both of y'all are winning and both parties are gaining.
Yes, you can. Well, let me give you an example. So losing, and that's a good question, right? So as an entrepreneur, right? Anybody that's successful at what they're doing, you've lost before. People that are not entrepreneurs don't become entrepreneurs because they are fear and they are afraid of losing. But winners have lost more times than they have won. So if you would ask Michael Jordan, who has the most rings, but he's lost more games, right? Then he's won championships. But when we win big. So even as a teacher or educator, right, what I'm giving is my energy and it's draining. So it's in that perspective that I'm talking about, right? So we lose our way to success, right? Or you fail your way to success, right? But if you dwell in a state, then you become a loser or you become a failure, and that's only when you quit. So I'm only talking about in the energy exchange perspective, right? And that can be in your everyday lives. Some people here, some of you are coaches, some of you manage a business, some of you are in sales. And you have experienced those people. They'll call you over and over and over and over again, and they'll drain you. And they don't even do the first thing you told them. You told them 100 things, right? So what happens? You'll be like, man, I'm losing. I'm losing because they don't have any money and they're eating up your time. You're the one that's losing. You drain. So that's what I mean, right? So you want to always be getting something. So yes, reciprocity is a law. Okay. So you want to. It can be reciprocal because if I'm giving you something, yeah, I might be physically drained, but if you receive it, it's going to come back to me at some point, but it has to move. It has to move. It's the law. So things have to move. So in that sense, so you want to be receiving something. Let me share my screen. Let's go.
We have a lot of new faces in tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I see, and I love it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at this family growing.
I love it. Let's see. All right, so as we're talking about, you want to be careful of who you give your time to and where you put it, right? And so, what is that? When you put your time somewhere or give your time somewhere, I gotta move this on my way. Right, that's a form of investment. All right, so we've been trained. We think of investment as just money. So investment, putting capital to use today in order to increase its value over time. That's an investment, right? An investment requires putting capital to work in the form of time, money, effort, etc., in hopes of a greater payoff in the future than what was originally put in. So think about that. Think about where you're putting your time. Right now, I said, well, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here, right? Why? You're going to get something out of this, right? You're going to get, this is an investment. Investment is not just money. Investment is not just getting a loan and putting it, in a business. That's why, self-employed people, a lot of them fail because they just think that's what investment is. No, investment is how much time are you putting into developing yourself? How much time are you putting into the study and learning of whatever it is you want to do? Whatever it is you want to do, hair, nails, sell stuff, whatever, preach in every aspect, be a fundraiser, help the homeless. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to study it. Everything is a science, right? So one of the best things you want to do is make the right investment. Whatever business that you're into, whatever it is you want to do, you must have a mentor, right? You must invest. This is universal law. What we've been trained to do, we want something for nothing. And I could go on Facebook right now and I'm going to see a bunch of people, you know, and they call me all the time, who giving out money, who giving out things like that. I had a good conversation with an investor, and he was telling me, he was connecting me with some other loans and how to get loans and things. He was like, man, you know, the problem with our people is we get the loans, but we don't want to pay them back. And I said, yeah, because we don't understand a fair exchange and we don't understand relationship building. So if somebody loans you money, right, and they give it to you and you're supposed to pay them back with a little interest over a period of time, if you pay them back, what do you think they want to do? If you paid them back, they want to loan you some more money. So, right, so now we have built a relationship. But see, we don't understand what investment is, right? And we want just enough money, okay? Or we don't want to pay nothing back. That just enough attitude for us in America, a lot of it came from slavery, right? Because the slave, it wasn't like the slave didn't get fed. He got fed just enough. Wasn't like he didn't get to eat. He had just enough nourishment to keep him going. They gave him the worst foods. But they had to give him something, right? So we developed the attitude of dependency and somebody giving us just enough to pacify us, because we don't understand investment. What you put in is what you're gonna get out, right? So that's law, right? If you make the proper investments, then you understand what financial literacy is. Possessing the skills and knowledge of financial matters to confidently take effective action that best fulfills an individual's personally, family, community needs, right? Financial literacy. You got to have the skills and the knowledge, right, to take care of you and yours. You understand what I'm saying? How you affect the globe. That's what financial literacy is. So we were talking about money a few minutes ago. We're not short on money. We're short on knowledge. It's skills, possessing the skills and knowledge, right? So what makes us powerful? Not knowledge, the application of the knowledge, right? I could give you 1,000,000 places that will give you a loan tomorrow. And you say, man, I know where to go get a loan. It doesn't mean nothing if you're not going to utilize it. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean nothing if you're not going to utilize it. So financial literacy is having that understanding, possessing the knowledge of the things that's going to affect your family first and foremost. Before your business, you got to take care of yourself. So it's personal. You have to be financially literate. And so a lot of us, we want to be the CEOs of a business, and we're not even the CEO of our household. So you got to be the CEO of your house and handle your finances. If you can't handle you can't balance a checkbook, what makes you think you're going to run a business? Okay. So it starts personal first. It starts inside first. I always tell people I'm developing business owners. I'm developing people that want to take it to the next level and be owners. You might start off self-employed and you have to work in your business, but I want to push you to develop that you can put your business on autopilot and you can make investments and make money. But it starts off from you personally, having your knowledge, being the CEO of your life, handle your business. For those of us that don't have no aspirations of starting a business, that's fine, but you're in business right now. If you got a social security number, you're in business. If you're married, you're in business with whoever you're married to, right? This government puts you in business. Then they get in your business if you don't handle your business. So you have to comprehend what business is, right? It's having that understanding. That's that being financially literate. Universal laws, universally, you have a comprehension level, right? You have to comprehend that everything is moving. The law of vibration, right? Everything is moving, okay? So as this class is called taking the first step of awareness, right? You take the first step, that was the investment. The first step you got to do is invest your time. But you have to grasp, how does this whole thing work? The law of vibration, what does it say? Nothing rests. Everything moves, everything vibrates. at the most fundamental level. The universe and everything which comprises it is pure vibratory energy manifesting itself in different ways. Everything is in motion. Everything is in motion. You know, some people lay in the bed all day, right? What's happening while they're laying down? The world is constantly moving. Okay. Life, it does not stop. Right? Somebody dies every day and the world keeps going. You see, everything moves, everything is moving all of the time. So if you want to make money, you have to learn how to make your money move, right? It's called appreciation. Learn how to make your money grow. Money has to grow. It's just like a plant. It's just, you plant a seed, but you got to cultivate it with the right things. Okay. So like Sabrina was talking about earlier, that's that subconscious mind. Okay. The subconscious mind only receives. It only receives. And so as a child, up to the age of 7, and this is scientific fact, up to the age around 7, because some of us do develop at different levels, that child is in a receiving state. Okay. When that child came out of the womb, it only knew what was in its DNA. You called the baby Lisa, John, Mark, Lakeisha, whatever, right? But it had to learn. The only way it got to say his name because you told him his name over and over again. John, sit down. John, sit down. John. And then somehow it grasped. When she said the word John, she grabs me. My name must be John, right? So you was programmed your whole life. So whatever you know, all the knowledge you have came from somebody. They pushed it into your head, right? Your subconscious mind just receives it, right? The conscious mind is the thinking mind. It's the mind that said, I'm going to lift my hand up. I'm going to pick up the pen and paper. You see what I'm saying? So most people are just living off of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is habits, right? You're only living off of habits. And if you've been programmed with bad habits, you're going to live your life with bad habits. So that's why they say most people that smoke, their parents smoked. Why? Because the person that programmed me, my mother, if she's smoking, then it must be okay to smoke. And the first thing people would tell you, or if they eat, bad food, my mama ate it, she all right, my grandmama ate it, right? This is a programming that all of us have been programmed. And this education system has done even a job on us and programmed us more, right? Because they don't teach us the things that are going to get us through life. They teach us a curriculum that will make you a good worker. So understanding these laws of vibration, these laws that everything is in movement, you understand you have to move, right? Your mind has to move. Your thinking has to shift. All of that is movement. You can't think the same way you was thinking, when you graduated from high school, right? When I see people and they was clubbing when they was 19, when they 40 and all they do is club. And the first thing I say, do they own the club? If not, like, is that your mind has not shifted? That's it. And you have kids and now you in the same club with the kids. So, and so now a child can't see any vibratory movement in your actions, right? So we get to think this must be life, right? And these statements, they're not made to demean, they're made to bring awareness, because a lot of us just aren't aware of how we live or why we get poor results in life. So what must we do? We got to change our frequency. So if everything moves, then the movement manifests on a frequency level. The same way we change that radio dial, we can change our thinking to get different results. So if your thinking change, your outer life will change, okay? I know it happened for me. I used to have this feeling of money that was indifferent, right? I used to just have a feeling of money. It was just indifferent. It's fine. I really ain't got I'm good because I was a hustler. I could always make money. It's easy. Whatever I need, I could just go out there and get it, right? But I was very careless with money. because I've always been a helpful person. And so somebody could come to me and they would give me a sob story and my heart would go out and I would just give them the money. And I would always say, I can make it back. Right. You know, so living like that, I only reached a certain amount of financial success because by default, I could not go higher because I would just give it away because I felt like it didn't matter that much. When I made a real conscious decision to say, man, you know what? You got a lot of knowledge. You need to help a lot of people. Once I made that decision, then I realized that in order to help people, you have to create systems. You have to create systems and institutions. If it was systems and institutions that have brainwashed us and programmed us, it's going to take our own systems and institutions to clean our minds up of the garbage and teach us about real wealth, love, life, happiness, spirituality. In order to make systems in this world, in this day and time, you need capital, you need money. So because I got serious about what my purpose here, what shifted on me was how I looked at money. So it was a frequency shift. I changed the dial, right? So I started getting engulfed in, you know, how do you build something? How do you get this going? What does it take? Okay, if we need this, well, how do I get it? And they say, well, you need some money. Well, I make money, yeah, but you make all the money, but your money go out the door. Wait, yeah, because you're helping this one, you're helping that one, da, 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 da. And a lot of times, it's the frequency that we're on. We think we're helping people by giving them money. Money won't solve problems. The way to address poverty is not by dumping money on poverty. I could go right now to a bunch of homeless people and give them $100. Where they going to be at the next day? Right in the same position, right? Something has to shift, right? And this ain't me. This is even biblical. This is spiritual. If you give a man a fish, he's going to eat for one day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. So this deals with frequency. And the frequency is thought, right? We're shifting. And so what we're doing in life, all of us on here, you would not be here if you was not making intentions to shift, right? You're shifting. So as you shift and go on another frequency, different things are going to happen. Frequency, the rate at which vibration occurs, right, constitutes a wave, either material or sound, right? That's just the frequency, like a radio wave. This is a frequency. If you get in your car and the gospel station is whatever it is, 92 such and such, that's the frequency of that type of music. What if you want some country? Will the country's music be on the same frequency as the gospel in the hip hop? No, you have to shift, right? So it's literally that simple. You have to shift, right? The simplicity is the part of you understanding that it is a frequency. What we wrestle with and we say it's the hard part is breaking the habit. But once you get it that it is a frequency, now you got to shift, right? So if I hang around 5 broke people, right, what we call broke or whatever, however you want to put it, that is a frequency, right? And broke 10 years ago ain't broke to me now, right? You know, it changes. But if you hang around broke people, what's going to happen? You're around a broke frequency. Sabrina talked earlier. If I listen to trap music, hardcore, you know, all day, every day, what type of frequency am I living in? I'm going to walk around, I'm going to look at women, I'm only looking at them in a certain way because I'm like, this is all that's bombarded in me, right? And if you put some poverty on top of that, if I'm living in poverty and this is all I listen to, a type of music that's degrading, this and that, and only thing good about it is getting money, but I'm in poverty, what's going to happen? I'm on a frequency that's going to create chaos. I'm going to rob somebody because I'm lacking. All I'm listening to is sex, wealth, and death. Think about what's on the radio. All your top songs deal with sex, wealth, and death. They're keeping you trapped in a 3-dimensional frequency, sex, wealth, and death, right? This is all people that have mastered these frequencies Okay. That's why they're in power. That's why they have so much money. They know how to turn the dial up and put you on a frequency. What's the movie? It was just out, something Tyrone, cloning Tyrone. They pointed it out in there, right? Remember how they put the frequency in the music, and then everybody was like a zombie. Yeah, it's a movie, but it's real. And that's what we're dealing with. So in society, they put us on a poverty frequency. You see, now, before we leave the frequency, I want people to understand. You don't have to have $100 million. That's not what I'm saying. See, they programmed us to think rich and poor is just people got massive amounts of money. Poverty is a mindset, right? So we're dealing with abundance and we're dealing with poverty, right? Poverty is you thinking that you don't have access to anything. Poverty is you feeling like I don't have enough. That's a poverty thought. Poverty is you feeling like I'm not good enough because so many people have programmed you. Those are poverty thoughts. So when I'm talking about poverty, I'm not saying, look, if you don't make $200,000 or $300,000 and you never do, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you mentally living in poverty, right? Depriving yourself because you feel like there's not enough. That's the poverty mindset. So we got to shift that frequency. This is what we're talking about. The law of abundance, right? The law of abundance. There's more than enough energy or money for everyone who knows how to acquire it and keep it. We live in an abundant universe in which there is sufficient money for all who really want it and are willing to obey the laws governing its acquisition. For some, that's a hard pill to swallow because you have to acknowledge your lack of discipline. For me to get to where I'm at today, I had to acknowledge I was not disciplined. Could I make a lot of money like that? Like Master P said, I could lose it and get it back easy. But was I disciplined enough to get to a level that could really shift my life? I wasn't disciplined, so I had to learn discipline, right? Because once you grasp the law of abundance, there's more than enough energy and money for anyone who knows how to acquire it and keep it. So I always have to use this when I'm talking to Black people. We are the #1 consumers on the planet Earth. We are the #1 consumers on the planet Earth. The Black people, man, woman, families in the United States consume so much that we could be the 4th consuming country on the planet. You could take the Black population, they say it's 13 to 15% or whatever the US. We know them numbers is flawed, but let's just go with what they say. You could take that amount of people, we consume so much, we consume what would equal to a country, and we would be the 4th largest country. So we're not short on money. We're short on the knowledge and the skills to what to do with the money. And what is that? That's financial literacy. So that's why they teach you everything except for financial literacy in school. They don't really teach you that. They don't teach you how to manage for real, how to make it in this world, right? But if you understand the law of abundance, there's more than enough. But you got to know how to acquire it, right? And you got to know how to keep it. And so when I talk to people and I say, you can get this if you repair your credit. First thing they say is, man, how long that gonna take? Because I'm trying to get this house now. And I say, well, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna take at least 3 months to get you there. Damn, 3 months, but what I gotta pay? Oh, it's gonna take whatever, whatever amount of money. Okay, well, yeah, I'll give you a call. I never get the call back. Not 3 months go by, a year go by. Same person. Man, I'm for real now, man. I need to get my credit fixed. What happened to the house? I thought you wanted the house. Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, but I really need the money. I need my credit. I said, well, I told you what you need to do. You let a whole year go by. You done had the $500 I told you could have put, and your credit could have been good. You could have bought 3 houses by now, right? So Is it abundant? Is the money there? Yes, the monies are in the banks and all they do is loan it. But people don't want to do what it takes, right? We don't want to invest in ourselves, credit, something we know affects our everyday life, but we want to buy some shoes and Jordans and go and party, right? And do all this until we find out, you know, oh, they're cutting back food stamps. Oh, we got to prove we got to work. Now we got to do it. So then I get bombarded, right? So we have to spread this. It's abundant out here, right? There's more than enough money, but you got to want it and you got to know how to acquire it, right? That's the law of abundance. So we're not lacking anything. We're lacking financial literacy and effort, right? Right here, all that money. That's a lot of money. A whole lot of money. People say, well, they ain't got no money. They produce $541 million printed a day. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing produces 38 million notes a day with a face value of approximately $541 million. This is being printed right now. You hear about it. Republicans say, oh man, all we doing is printing money. You know, the money is here. Now, you got to know the skills to how to get it, but the money is available. But, you know, a lot of us, we listen to what they say. Well, they ain't going to give it to us. They ain't going to do this. We give all our power to they, them. All these, what they call them, I don't know, pronouns or whatever. Everybody's a they and he's or whatever. Everybody got power except for you. They going to do this. They ain't going to let me do this because of that. We so quick to make excuses, right? But guess what? All you have to do is know how to acquire it, right? You gotta learn how to acquire. Can you hit mute? Yeah, thank you. So we have to learn how to acquire the things that we really want, right? So when you think about laws, you're dealing with abundance, but what does it take to get something? Action. Action. How many of us been putting off starting a business? How many of us been putting off getting our credit repaired? How many of us been putting off something small like the book we say we want to read? We ain't even bought the book. Action, the law of action. You must do something to manifest the things you want. You cannot manifest things you want without taking action. Manifestation requires taking steps or actions. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? You got to do something. You got to take action. Right? Don't nothing come to a dreamer but dreams. Right? You could dream, but what Meek Mill said, you got to be a dream chaser. When you wake up, that dream got to be right. You got to chase the dream. You can't sit up there dreaming all day. Right? Waiting for something to fall out of the sky. Right? That ain't faith. That ain't nothing. So these are laws, universal and scientific laws, the law of action. If we apply these laws to our everyday living, man, you know how awesome we'll be, right? So that suffix, you see that I-O-N. Anytime that's on a word, I-O-N implies action or movement. So when people talk about I'm gonna manifest something, I'll say this: manifestation requires action. You can't sit up and say, yeah, girl, I'm gonna manifest that job. Well, what do you need to get the job? Well, I gotta pass the drug test. But you smoking weed all day. Well, I mean, you ain't taking action for what you want. You can't manifest that. If these are the rules in order to get it, you see what I'm saying? And it says you can't do this to get it. I mean, come on now, right? So you got to take action for what you want. So how many times have we just sat still and not taken action? Or you put something, this is going to be my year. People kill me with that. Oh my goodness. Every new year. This is going to be my year. This is a new year. After this class right now, if something affected you, your year started right then. Who cared? They say January 1 is, that ain't no new year. That's some stuff some conquerors came here and gave to people, and we just fall and accept it. Your life starts right now when you want to. You see what I'm saying? When you read scripturally, right? When Jesus was talking about being born again, he said you got to wait till January 1st to be born again. No, it happens right now. It can happen right now. You see? So we got to take these steps in this movement right now. We got to be real about stuff. You know, what we're talking is real life action, focus. Once you take action, what you got to do? We got to get focused. Right? Whether it's the job you want, whether it's the man or woman you want, you took action, you might have them. But if you can't focus the center of interest or activity, if you can't focus on that thing you won't keep it long. You might have got it. But take your focus off of the man or woman in your life, and he or she, they'll be gone. And they'll tell you, well, you just can't spend no time with me. Any brothers on here, we know. You make all the money in the world, but look, yeah, a woman requires more than, money. Yeah, really, I can go make some money. I want something a little more than that, right? And I can go both ways, right? So focus. So we have to focus on what we really want. Pay particular attention to. Ooh, you see that word particular? You got to be real particular about the paying attention. So you got to put thought in the things that you want, right? It's the state or quality of producing clear visual. It got to be clear, right? You got that, and then you creating what you want. So the order of creation is from the formless to the formed, from the invisible to the visible. This goes on perpetually, and there's never a beginning or an ending to the process. So what does that really mean? You are always creating. So it goes from the formless in here, right? If you're married, before you got married, you already had the picture, you had the dress, the guy had the tux, whatever he's gonna wear, and he's seeing yourself. It was forming in here. And then we seen your vision. We seen you kissing and saying I do. Or if it was the business or the first time you got an office and you're like, yeah, you cutting the ribbon and your business open. It started in here first, right? So it goes from the formless and we form it. So what's that? That's our thought, right? And so we are always creating. Right now, you're creating something in your life. If you're on this call, you're creating a new you. Everybody here is creating a new you, right? We're always creating. We never stop creating. This goes on perpetually, and there's never a beginning or an ending to the process. So think about that in a spiritual aspect. There's never a beginning or an ending to the process. When you was born, you were just a continuation of your mother and your father. And when you die, it will carry on to your children. But what do you do with the time that you have in the process, right? While you are conscious, or will some of us choose to stay asleep and not move, right? It's creation, right? Creation is the state or process of bringing something into existence, right? So we know this. You either creating or you disintegrating. You either building something up or you coming apart. What's disintegration? The process of losing cohesion or strength. Strength. What does something cohesion mean? It means when it's together, right? So it's the process of losing strength. Somebody trying to get in here. It's the process of losing strength or cohesion. The twin problems of economic failure and social disintegration, the process of coming to pieces. Coming to pieces, disintegrating. So think about what I'm saying. You're either creating the life you want or your life is falling apart. Either way is your life. Okay? So some of us, Well, think about it. Losing strength, it says the process of losing strength. Think about when you go through something, when you financially challenged, the rent is coming up, whether it's your home or your office, whatever, right? And that uncomfortable feeling, you don't have the money, what happens? You can disintegrate. You can say, oh man, forget it. I'm gonna let it go. Ah, forget it. What's disintegrate? And it starts to fall apart. Your business and life start to disintegrate. Or you could take that power and you could get creative. You could say, how do I create more? How do I create more money? Right? The power is in you. So we create or we disintegrate. So that's why we on here. We're here to show each other, right, how to create, how to use the powers that we have, right? This is what Masternomics is about. So when you think about business, when you think about money, you think about life, you think about finances, look at it from this perspective, right? You are your business, okay? You are your business. You are a CEO. Whether you got an LLC or not, you got to be the CEO of your household first and foremost, right? And I'm telling you from experience of failure at things, right? That we're always learning. What I learned is you start from the center, right? Mother Teresa, and I ain't Catholic, but she got a great saying. She said, if you want to change the world, go home and take care of your family. If you want to change the world, go home and take care of your family. This is from a lady that feeds millions of people and was a nun in, I think, India or somewhere, right? And she's giving people all day, right? And they said, well, how could we change the world? And she answered and said, yeah, people go home and take care of their family. Why? Because if you love you, then you can love me. And so if you love yourself and I love myself, then we got something in common. You see what I'm saying? We can build together. We can have a community, right? You see what I'm saying? So you can love your neighbor the way you love yourself. But if you don't love yourself, you ain't gonna love your neighbor. And thus, what's the problem we see? People killing each other. Man, how he just killed that dude, man? Dang, he just shot the young boy. Dang, man. You know why? He don't love himself, so he can't love this guy. I don't love myself. You know I don't love you. That's what he's saying. I ain't got nothing to lose. This is all I know, bro. Right? Programming that junk into your head over and over again. Right? That's contrary to the law. What do you mean this is all I know? Okay, why don't you know more? Why don't you desire to want more? Right? You see? So we're talking about transformational information. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about transforming your life, right? And if you want to be financially successful, see the reason why we always bring it on money, because money is finite. Meaning money is like this paper. See, if we get so spiritual and metaphysical, sometimes people can't grab it. When I talk about money, I know it's like food. Right now, you need the money, right? The same way you need the food. Until you get enough money and you create your own economy, right? But right now, because you're living by somebody else's system, most of the people are living in a city, and so you need money every day. Till you get so much money that you become like, Bill Gates, Ted Turner, and them. They live on ranches, right? So they can eat off of their own land. They really don't need money like you need money. That's why they have an excess of it. In some aspects, poor people spend more money than rich and wealthy people because rich and wealthy people it's piling, right? But we spend, the rich don't spend. They accumulate and then they invest, right? So we're on here to say, how can you get your life to a better financial state? All of us here want to get on a better financial state. To get on a better financial state, you start internally. You take care of your family, right? It starts there because your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, partner, whatever, right? They're going to be the ones that are going to pour into you more when you get weak. You see? Right? So that is your essence. So we say, may we be guided by the laws of love to govern our family finances. To govern our family finances. Why? Because love has to be at the heart of it, but it has to govern our family finances, right? So your woman, when you're in business with them, or a man, whatever, when y'all are in business together, right? But so many of us are torn because we don't comprehend what business is. And so we say, well, I got this business and he do his thing or she do her thing. That's not gonna work. I'm telling you right now. I be telling people like, man, y'all, you might well, that's over with. That business ain't gonna do nothing. Oh, so you married to this person, y'all work, but you're investing and then with it, the business ain't gonna work. Come holler at me in 6 months when you fail, because you're gonna fail, and then I'm gonna show you how we do it together. Or let's put it together and say, okay, wife, husband, why don't you support this business? Well, because he's in the club, but he get drunk all night. He say he run the club, but he don't come home. And I said, well, bro, we need to analyze this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes us as people, we don't want to acknowledge our faults and weaknesses, right? But we want to be married to people. We want to do this. We want to do everything, but have the uncomfortable conversations about money, right? Or finances. And us and me, I'm included. Sometimes the male ego gets in the way, right? Sometimes the women get a little more dominant. It could go different ways, right? But we all have to look at ourselves, okay? And it all starts personally and internally. So this is why we do this. This is what Masternomics is about. It's about bringing up them uncomfortable conversations. It's about making you look in the mirror. After this, I hope everybody looks in the mirror and challenge yourself and say, dang, I need to talk to someone. I need to move differently. See, everybody going through something different, right? But whatever it is, I hope it shifts you and helps you move to a higher plateau. So we created Masternomics for this purpose. We're a community. We want to elevate you to your highest degree, right? And that's limitless. So follow us, get on these calls. This is an hour out of the week, right? And it's helping develop you, me, us. Because trust and believe, I'm learning just like you guys are learning. We all are learning. I've had mentors my whole life, and I still got them today. I learned some stuff today, right? But what we have to be is a community to help develop each other. We got a platform that we're building a lot of things. Next month, we're going to roll out a lot of things. And everybody that has been supporting, I appreciate you. Even if you're just getting on these calls, I appreciate you. Because one thing we need is the love and energy, right? And your energy empowers us to keep doing what we know we're here to do. And all of you that have businesses, share the information, get to know one another. There's a lot of things, if we support each other, we can spend money with each other and we can help one another. We got a lot of business owners on here. I'm going to turn it back over to Sabrina. I know my brother Will always has some great words, and me and Will, we're working on courses. We got a lot of things coming to help grow this. We've got a whole Phoenix community that we're developing land. Maybe I think on our next call, we're going to get in depth and go over a lot of the things we've taken action and things that we're doing and the investment opportunities that we have. But Sabrina, Will, drop some knowledge, say something, spread some love before we get out of here.
You can go first, Will. Let's hear from this. Let's let this masculine energy dominate right now.
Yeah, because y'all sisters had it going on early.
We always gonna have it going on.
That's all right. Me and Glenn gonna step up on watch.
Look, at West, 95% of this call is the women showing up. Look at these queens up in here.
Hey, Will, though, look, I got my partner down in Texas on. I see him now. I couldn't see him while I was talking. My partner Cam. Yeah, he represents. Got some brothers on here.
Yeah,
you got 1.5.
Hey, well, look, hey, like I said, I was listening. It's so funny that a lot of us grew up in Christian church and whatnot. And then, like I said, just like I hit off in the chat, that wasn't nothing but Genesis in the beginning, which you was pushing out. God focused his energy, his vibration. He started as a vibration and then focused his energy on nothingness and turned nothingness into what we see now. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all it was. And then he created everything by his thought. He decided to make everything. He chose to make everything. Like what you're saying, he got disciplined enough to make everything. You know, that's what they don't teach. They don't want you to know that you are capable of being God, because he said it though, but we don't teach it that way. He said, I give you dominion.
That's right.
So he was trying to tell you on the seventh day, what in the Bible say he went and rested. They ain't say he came back yet, right? They ain't say he came back. He gave us
dominion over this thing, right? Dominion over the planet.
Dominion.
Yeah.
He rulership. He said he didn't say he came back on vacation. Okay.
Yes.
Later on, Jesus supposed to check out right in the Bible. I'm just going about Bible stuff now. I'm talking Bible folks. He checked out. So he said again, y'all handle it. We got to choose to do it.
Right.
Once we choose and step forward, like say, hey, this been transformational for me. So like I say, I'm choosing to be who I am. I'm choosing to be rich. I'm choosing to be wealthy in my spirit. The money gonna come.
Right.
Once you decide to be wealthy in your thought, in your brain, in your inside, that vibration change. As the sister was saying earlier, that vibration change.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, your tuning fork, like for that piano, changes.
Yeah.
You know.
So
like other than that, I've been blessed. I hope y'all been blessed. I'm excited for my turn. And I hope to spread some wisdom one day to y'all too, myself. And other than that, let's grow together, stay together, and stay harmonious, and much love.
Yes, you up next, Will. You up next. That's so powerful. I love how you broke that down. Like that's the beautiful part. Is like, I love how he went into the Genesis, because it's like so mote it be. It's like the word is the power. And so that is our power. That is our free will, because we have the power to change our thought consciously. The thing is, we only using that power, majority of us is only using that power 5% of the day. But if you start programming yourself and training yourself to use that power more often, then little by little, you will be overtaking your mind consciously more than 5% of the day. And so like Will was saying, it's just like, that's what make you God. It's not saying that you are the creator, but every time that you say, you know what, I'm going to, let me be conscious of what I'm doing right now. What's going on? You're tapping back into your God power. You're tapping back into your creative power. If you are only being like, most people, they be like, I don't even know what I was just thinking about. I don't even know what I was doing, because they're being ruled by the unconscious. When you're driving home, you don't even know how you got it. You're like, dang, how I get here this fast? Because you are being ruled by your unconscious mind, the subconscious mind. And so if you can take more power of the conscious mind, you taking your God power back, and you're saying, you know what, let me be more intentional about how I am showing up. Let me be intentional about the words that I am using. Let me be intentional with the things that is programming me and what I am giving my energy to. And that is your God power. That's what's connecting you, because everything is an energy. And so whenever you decide, you know what, enough is enough, let me just go ahead and keep track. Every time I catch myself feeling something negative, I can write it down in the journal. Oh, I caught myself feeling something negative 52 times. Don't let that 52 times discourage you. Say, oh, okay, well, the next day, you're going to be even more conscious. And so you probably only do it 47 times. But don't let that 47 times discourage you. Then the next day, you keep doing it. You can be like, I only did it 39 times. And so it's little by little. If you have been programmed to think a certain way, if you have been programmed to give your power away for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, stop trying to think that you're going to go meditate one time and then everything is going to be different. No, it's repetition. It's what you are doing repeatedly. And so you can always shift the frequency. You can always shift your vibration by what you are doing repeatedly, what you are listening to repeatedly. And so having a good morning routine is one of the best ways to start reprogramming your mind. It's because if you go ahead and train yourself first thing in the morning, the rest of the day can go downhill, because you already did the hard part. You already fought that demon first thing in the morning. If you, the first thing you wake up to and you get in your phone and you going to see who said what on Facebook and you watching the news and they got this and that, you are going to be programmed with the chaos of the world. But if you say, you know what, let me give thanks first. Let me go speak life in myself first. Let me go look in the mirror and tell myself I love myself first. Let me go pray or meditate, whatever it is for you that puts you back into the gratitude moment of saying, you know what? Thank you, God, for giving me this power. Then you are reprogramming your subconscious mind, because even if you go the rest of your day unconscious, when you wake up the next day, you bringing your consciousness back, and the more you doing it, it is programming you. It is giving you the tools you need. If you can't do it in the morning, you need to start doing it at night, because the problem is you're not being, you, as soon as you getting up in the morning, you still picking up from what happened last night. But if you just start doing it that night, you just start journaling, say, write it out. Hey, tomorrow is going to be the best day of my life. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up feeling abundant and happy. Tomorrow I'm going to remember my power more and more. Tomorrow is going to be one of the most amazing days. When I wake up, I'm going to feel good about myself. When I walk out the door, everybody gonna be able to notice the power that I have been able to possess. And so if you just start writing it out, because the subconscious mind don't know what's real, you can lie to the thing is, it's okay to lie to your subconscious mind. The problem is a lot of y'all telling the wrong type of lies to your subconscious mind. You're telling your subconscious mind that you're nothing. You're telling your subconscious mind that you're not enough. You're telling your subconscious mind you need to make more money in order to be valuable. And that is lies. That's how they keep you in the trap. That's how they keep you in the matrix. The matrix make you wake up and say, let me see what they got going on. She just bought a car and my car is so old. That's the trap. You're worried about what Susie got going on. Yeah, you can't be worried about what Susie going on, because Susie is on a whole nother vibration, baby. Susie already over there loving on herself, or Susie don't love on herself. But either way it go, if you focusing on Susie, you are still going to be losing, because you're not doing enough of focusing on the God within you, the power within you, and still in your mind. You're not doing it repeatedly enough. And so, like, even being on these calls, did y'all know being on these calls every week is reprogramming your subconscious mind?
Right.
It's impossible to be around this energy and it don't affect you in some type of way. And if this call is making you uncomfortable, if this call is making you feel like, ooh, you need to be on it more. You need to come listen to it more, because the only reason you're feeling that way is because you have been programmed to be around more chaos. But if you are on this call, like Chris said, you are already on a frequency of wanting more. There's no way you was able to stay on this call if you didn't want more for yourself. There's no way you could be able to stay on this call if you didn't feel that, you know what, I got to do something different. I don't care how uncomfortable these folks making me over here talking about all this money. I got to show up different. And so in order to be on this call, you already on a whole new frequency. And so this call is reprogramming your subconscious mind. And so, Chris, you want to give some more examples? Because there's millions of examples of what you can do to reprogram that subconscious mind. Anything that you are doing intentionally.
Well, sister, I was going to try to piggyback on what you were saying.
Go ahead.
We've been taught to do it, but like Chris said earlier about the discipline, you've been taught to do it even in Christian church, or if you was Muslim, the Salah, you was taught to do it then, but you didn't know it. The whole praying 3 times a day that we don't do, the whole 5 times a day that you don't do, that was a constant checking back in with yourself. That was a constant reprogramming of your mind. Think about if you're meditating repetitiously over and over these prayers all day, constantly, in the morning, midday, noonday, in between noon and midday, and at night. You're constantly reinforcing your brain to think a certain way. Those I'm trying to tell you, that's why it's discipline in that. But we don't even do that. We do the bare minimum even at that. You know, the people that belong to religious organizations. Right. But that's what they were for. It was a science to it. It wasn't all about this whole hocus pocus and God gonna free you and save you and Jesus gonna. It wasn't about that. It was about you being focused and disciplined, having self-accountability, self-sovereignty over yourself. That's what it was about. But they don't teach it that way. That's not how they teach it. Because they don't ever want you to really be free, because they want you to be dependent on them. So you got to come back every week. They don't want you to come back just to fellowship. They want you to come back so you can drop something off and give them something, versus you being sovereign and you just want to be around other people who's sovereign and they have their own mind and they just want to be around each other like what we're doing now.
Exactly.
See, like I said, I want to be around like minds. I don't want you to be beneath me. I don't want to be beneath you, or when I want to glean something from you and I want to give you something. You know, that's how we supposed to do this. You know, and that's what they don't teach. They want you to be dependent. You get what I'm saying? And we had to get out of that mindset of being dependent on that. Know that you know what you know what you know. Right. And be a seeker for what you don't know. Yes, believe nothing. Yes. Seek always. Believe nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you. I don't know if I get fired up. I can't get fired up. I can't get fired up like
that's powerful.
You hit a very.
Is there any questions before we go ahead and be done with it? Anybody want to ask Chris anything? Anybody want some advice on something? Anybody having any challenges with something that we talked about on the call? No questions? Good. All right then, Martin.
Hey, look, we appreciate you. We love you. We definitely want to see y'all again next week, and let's keep it going. You know, share it with a friend, family member. Hey, look, let's do it. Y'all see y'all next week.
Peace out, bro.
Peace.
Powerful 11.